Hello, friends, and welcome to another competitive Modern League. Today is round 4. See you there. Alright, everybody, as I said, this is round 4 with a competitive. This is round 4 of a competitive Modern League with Jeskai Geist. Really, I should probably leave the list up on the screen a little bit longer for those of you who want to see it again. Waiting. What did you guys do today? I went snowshoeing with a couple of photographer friends, and I recorded a vlog for my photography channel and took one picture. I walked 2 hours, took one picture, and then walked back. And it was cold. It was like the worst conditions. It was really snowy. I got wet. But the image is okay. Yay! No more small talk. Just kidding. I don't mind. Just conversating. All right. Pretty busy day today. Two cantrips. Draw step. Oof. Valakut. Alright, so let's just go straight for this guy. Yes, Serum Visions. Draw Geist, 2 lands on top? Nope, not quite. 2 lands on top, but not Geist. Okay, that's fine. I think we'll definitely keep both of these. I think that we want to just do this because I think we're just going to be playing a Snapcaster Mage on 2 to start our pressure. We want him to be under pressure. Let's see. 4 lands next turn, possibly more. Whew. Whew, it's going to be rough. We'll have Spell Queller up. I don't know that that will be good enough. I think if we can, we want a Spell Queller. In theory, I could opt draw the Sacred Foundry to draw what's underneath it if it's something like a Sacred Foundry, but I could also just play the Spell Queller. Oh, I guess it's a red-white land, so I was going to say I could opt in response. But it looks like it didn't hit a land there, so maybe we have a chance to get this Cryptic online. We may also just have a Lightning Bolt, but I don't think we can just sit around. Alright. Gonna shock. And the reason I shocked before combat here is, I guess I hadn't really made the decision. I wanted to give myself the option, but if he goes to like Bolt our Snapcaster Mage, I was like, well, I guess we could. He seems to be missing on lands. We could Spell Queller it just to keep the pressure up. But let's see what happens here, because now he's gonna search for tomorrow. Is this a bolt? Okay, just cycling Sweltering Suns. Alright, so I actually think I'm glad he didn't bolt and I didn't Queller, because I actually think I want to Queller this. The main reason is, so he hit 4 lands, didn't play land, and then waited for search for tomorrow. So I think what we want to do at this point is try to slow down his mana development. And I think Queller in search and hoping he doesn't have a Lightning Bolt is probably the best way to do that. He may have hit a land because he cycled Sweltering Suns and then had a draw step. If he misses a land... Oh, okay. Did he just play land while I was talking? I think he did. Yeah, okay. So he played on. So he's at 5. Because it was going to be at 6, we really need to hit a blue source. Ugh. 2 cards. 6, 7. That would allow him to scape shift. If he hits the 7th land, he gets to scape shift anyway. If he plays a prime time, he probably gets 2 Valakuts. If he doesn't have a land to follow up the prime time, then I'm thinking about quelling this. Then he takes, he goes from 17, takes 4, goes to 13. We're untapped. So basically right now he goes to 13. He untaps. He plays prime time. Let's assume none of our creatures die. On the backswing, we untap now with 6 power. So 13, he goes to 7. And then if we happen to draw another blue source, we might be able to tap the Primeval Titan. However, if it's already resolved and he's got these 2 Valakuts in play, we're probably going to begin losing all of our creatures. Yeah, so I think I need to let this go because the pressure that we have and the pressure that we're going to be able to add to, meaning we have 4 power to put him to 13. We'll be able to add an additional 2 power to the battlefield. Little late, Mr. Colonnade. We'll be able to add an additional 2 power, making 6. But if we tap out and he resolves a escape shift, we're just dead. If he resolves a Primeval Titan, he's going to get 2 Valakuts. Then any additional lands after that are 6 damage. So he's going to be able to start with every land drop, eliminating our small creatures. And I think we would be able to get him to 7. Oh, I thought I hit attack. That's lovely. Yeah, so I was trying to talk and explain. I thought I just clicked snap and hit go. That stinks. Well, our only option is to hope that this sticks. If it does, we do have a Cryptic Command. So there's a chance, even though we did miss 2 damage. Play our Colonnade. Pass the turn back here. Opponent should be at 11. That's just... Ooh. Does he... I think if he had a Bolt, he would have played it. I don't know what else he could have at the moment. Because we were tapped out, all he had to do was Bolt. I think he just drew this Valakut, otherwise he would have played it earlier. He has plenty of mountains to activate it. What kills him more quickly? So if we attack him for 4, we put him to 9. What I'm thinking about doing is Cryptic bouncing the Valakut. That way our creatures are more likely to live. Alternatively, we do 6 this turn. We electrolyze him. Maybe electrolyze is better because if we draw a Bolt, we only have 1 red source though. If we electrolyze him, he goes down to 11. Then he takes an additional 4 and goes to 7. If we draw a land, we can put him to 3. I think we just opt. Ooh. So I want that Bolt. Question is, do I want a Bolt or? I kind of think I want to. Well, wish I had another red source. So if I Bolt, it is 1 additional damage, 10. Then he goes to. I feel like I just want to push as much damage through, and it feels like it takes a turn off, because that puts him to 10. Then the attack puts him to 6. So 1 more attack and an electrolyze. So that's 2 additional attack steps. If I electrolyze now, he goes to, what's that, 11 and then 7, and then I attack a second. So it's actually all kind of the same. Because 11 and then 7 and then attack once more and bolt kills him. So if that's the case, maybe what I want to do is electrolyze, because everything seems to be safe enough at this point. I get to draw some additional cards. So that actually gives me 2 red sources and an additional counter spell. So yeah, I think I just attack, play the Sulfur Falls. If I need to, I have Bolt Snap Bolt Up, so he's 1 point away from dead, and if he kills our Spell Queller, like with the land drop, which he's going to do, oh, he's dead. Bolt. Snap, bolt you. That happened before I even got a chance to mention it, but I was going to say, like, if he loses 1 more point, then he's dead. Okay, so that was definitely the right way to do things. If his life total wasn't so low and we didn't have the Bolt Snap Bolt option, what I was going to say is, like, let's just say he untaps and escape shifts or something. We have the chance to, or let's say he just draws a bolt and kills the Queller but doesn't sacrifice the land. He kills the Queller. We have the option to Cryptic Command the Bolt. And then if he plays a land, which would be unfortunate, we have an option to Logic Knot the escape shift that he plays. And then he would be dead to Colonnade and Snapcaster Mage. Okay, so again, we're kind of bringing in our extra counters package. This is really for blue decks, but because these big mana decks, some of them are a bit slower, I think we can get away with the Counterflux. It'll obviously hit everything we care about. Definitely want the Disdainful Stroke, definitely want the Negate, and we also want to bring in the Molten Rains. And then as far as what, sorry, I just had to check something that took a minute. As far as what we want to take out, we obviously want to leave in our counter magic. And I think we definitely want to trim a couple path. Sometimes I only just leave 1 in. I want to keep all of this business. Then I think the Helixes can go. At least those 2. Like, Electrolyze is sort of one of our least efficient burn spells, and it might even be that on the play it's a little bit worse. It might be on the play that we want to do this. But I find that you don't want to necessarily get stuck with too many burn spells in your hand, because that's not exact. Like, you just need that to close the game, but it's not like you're going to end the game with all burn spells. You just don't have enough. You don't have like a critical mass. You don't have enough burn spells in the deck. So one thing I like about the Electrolyze is, while it's a bit inefficient, in that situation like we just had, you can find opportunities sometimes to cycle them into cards that you actually want. So I guess I'll try this and kind of stay with that plan. I'm going to pause because my wife made me this treat and I'm not able to drink it. Okay, so this is kind of what I'm talking about. We don't really want all these bolts right now. I'm going to keep it because if we can draw a Geist, then the best thing that we can do is, like, turn 1, or preferably their turn 2 if we're on the play, Spell Snare their turn 2 ramp spell, and then follow it up with the clock. In this case, if we draw a Geist, I would actually very much consider going turn 1 Spell Snare your ramp, turn 2 Logic Knot your ramp spell. We only have 1 blue source. That's something to consider. I'm going to still keep the hand. But turn 1 Disruption, turn 2 Disruption, turn 3 Geist, and then they might be just far enough behind that we can kill them more quickly. But let's keep this, mainly because we have Spell Snare early, and it is good at slowing their development. And if we can Spell Snare a ramp spell, it's kind of like Spell Snare is it slows them down, it can time walk them, and it's sort of like us drawing another card. Okay. I still think I can just lead on the island. I don't think I need double white here. This Flooded Strand will probably get a Steam Vent so that we can have... Alright, that's less good for us. Kind of makes me wish I had led on the Flooded Strand to get a Steam Vent. I was just pretty sure that he was going to... pretty sure that he was going to play a 2-drop. So what I'm hoping he does is plays something. And I can put the Flooded Strand in the graveyard, and then in response to the activation of the relic, counter it with Logic Knot. That seems like a good target for the Spell Snare that we have. Let's go ahead and put the land in the graveyard. Not that it's really probably going to matter, but then we can exile the land instead of the Spell Snare, which is very minor, but could come up for some reason. So our Logic Knot is not completely dead. We have a chance to, if he just like goes 6 mana prime time, then we have enough lands naturally in play where we can Logic Knot and just pay the X. Alright, so I think we want to try to do that and just play the Sulfur Falls and cycle this Electrolyze, kind of as we discussed previously. For the reasons that we discussed previously, maybe we can cycle it into something that matters. Pausing for a moment. Rice pudding is good. So what would be good for us would be to get a value out of this Logic Knot, and I mean, I would like to cycle this Electrolyze, but I'd rather make sure I can like counter a Primeval Titan with this Logic Knot. Just like have him slam a land, and we counter unless you pay 1. He may just not have anything, or he just doesn't have another land. Actually, he's probably gonna crack this relic. Best spell. I'm actually going to Serum Visions. If he goes land Titan, we can counter it. If he goes land, he doesn't have enough mana to Scape Shift because he needs 7 lands. So with that being said, let's play Mountain, cast the Serum Visions. Oh, I think I'm just going to cast that spell. And then I might even snap it back. Like he's behind on lands at this point. I mean, I probably won't be able to snap back. He's going to Electro. It could be because he's going to probably end up cracking this relic anyway. So I do think I want the snap and then this Disdainful Stroke. And I think here I'm just going to shoot his Cinderglade. Deal 2, put him another land drop behind. Yeah, so now we have Cryptic, and we're also going to draw another good interaction spell. Would have been nice to kill the Valakut, but we do have another Molten Rain in our deck. I could have waited. I suppose you could make an argument for waiting. I'm not going to fight over. He only has 2 mountains in play at this point. Well, actually, if I counter draw, I get to bolt. I draw the Snapcaster Mage. Can we race with that? Bolt, snap, bolt puts him to 8. Maybe that's the right thing to do, because his Valakut is quite a ways from even being online. Yeah, I'm gonna do that actually. Normally I don't fight over the ramp spells, but because I feel like between our burn and our snap, we have a reasonable amount of pressure. And if we can keep his Valakut from coming online, then it is just... That's right what I'm trying to say here. If we can keep his Valakut from coming online, then that's interesting. Do I shock for that? So let's say he untaps, plays a Primeval Titan. I can Disdainful Stroke it, and then Snap Bolt. Otherwise, I can Disdainful Stroke something and Bolt Snap Bolt an attack. We have 2 counter spells. I wouldn't be surprised if he has a Lightning Bolt. So Bolt, that's 8. So if we Bolt Snap Bolt and successfully attack with Snapcaster Mage, then he's dead to any burn spell. Alright. Let's see what happens here. In some ways, tapping out is kind of good for us. Him tapping out only because it means that we kind of we are guaranteed to get. So Search for Tomorrow gets. We could also just snap Cryptic. I don't think so though. I think I let this go. And I think I go ahead and Bolt. Snap, Bolt. Does have it. And we can't counter it. We can counter it for 3, then we eat the Bolt. That'll have to be fine. Cryptic Command is great. I think I'm going to use this Logic Knot. We don't have a ton in our graveyard. The argument to use Cryptic Command, and the reason I want to use it is to... Actually, I'm going to follow my... If I was going to advise somebody, I would tell them to counterbalance because you need to find a way to end the game, so you want to cantrip. I think we want to opt now in the event we have a Geist on top. Unfortunately, we do not, but we do have some nice counters. Our opponent is the 5 other, yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4. If he gets one more mountain in play, the mountain after that is okay. I'll go ahead and use the Logic Knot here. That is a way to end the game. Our opponent has one card. If it's an interactive spell like Lightning Bolt, we can negate it. 1, 2, 3, 4 mountains. This is a 5th mountain. If it's a ramp, is this another prime time? Yes, obviously we're going to Disdainful Stroke a Primeval Titan. Alright, so I think we played the Queller. But one more mountain. So this gets a mountain, and then a mountain after that. So if I negate this... Alright. It's sort of a... It's like playing to win the game, but we're opening ourselves up to our opponent top decking. He fetched and lowered our clock by 1 turn. Hopefully, don't play mountain. Don't play mountain. Don't play Primeval Titan. Don't. Damn it. I don't know what the right decision there was. I mean, he has 4 Primeval Titans and 4 Scape Shifts in the deck. I don't know. We had waited. We would have no pressure, but we would have countered that Scape Shift. Let's try that again. I'm going to console myself with a bite of rice pudding. I still think that was the right decision. I do. I was playing to win the game. I was not playing to not lose. I was trying to actively win. And of all the cards in the deck, it had to be basically that one. Because it could have been a prime time. I don't think I can keep a 1-land hand with Opt. I'm going to mulligan. Damn it. Ugh. Okay. Mulligan. I'm going to keep... I have a Scry and a Draw and a Disdainful Stroke to protect me from a death. Do I even want that? No, I'm going to just put that on the bottom. Play this land. All right. All right. Well, we have time. In that we have an answer to Primeval Titan, we have an answer to Scape Shift. If we could ever draw the 3rd land, we can cycle this Electrolyze into something more meaningful. If we ever hit a 3rd land, we have a 3rd counterspell. Him drawing a Valakut naturally would be a little sad. Okay, so I'm picking up where I left off. I need to apologize. This is the strangest recording ever. I left you guys at like 10 p.m. It is way later. Many, many, many hours later. Let me just say that. So let me see if I can just get through this. Okay, so my opponent just cast an Explore, which you just should have seen. And so the point that we picked back up on this live recording was when I cast the Lightning Helix. So let's just continue on for now. And I'm talking quietly because I don't want to wake up my family. We've had the worst time with my son sleeping tonight. So I'm really sorry that, like, I'm super tired, it's super late, and you guys are getting, like, one thing energy-wise and then getting another thing, but my options were to give you guys half of round 3 or all of it, and I'd rather give you guys all of it, but that means that I have to give it to you at almost 4 a.m. Let's just say that. Okay, so when I cast and explore, why can't I just... Okay, I'm trying to click this. Sorry for all the clicking. Most of my videos aren't this way. My apologies. Okay, so opponent does nothing. I do nothing. I don't draw a land again, but see, now I'm at 7 cards in hand, so I'm sort of incentivized to do something, or else I just have to discard, and I don't want to waste my cards. So my opponent, again, opts to do nothing, so I crack this Scalding Tarn into a Steam Vents, bolt my opponent, untap, still fails to draw land. But I'm committed to playing the Snapcaster Mage. If my opponent does nothing, I'm going to fetch into a Hallowed Fountain and play Snapcaster Mage so that we can start applying some pressure. But my opponent has something which happens to be Primeval Titan, so of course we're going to Disdainful Stroke that. We're lucky to even have an answer after that mulligan. Still fails to draw land, but can't really bring myself to do anything else because I still have interaction spells. I have the negate, and it could prove useful. Opponent plays land and then elects to Scape Shift if I recall correctly, which we negate. We're pretty lucky that we're even surviving this long. So at this point, I have no interaction that I can cast. So I have to cast Inhibitions because I can't hold up negate, I can't hold up anything. So I think I went top. Does this say? Knowing that I would probably have to fetch the Logic Knot, or like shuffle the Logic Knot away, and then end up deciding that I have to shuffle the Logic Knot away because I need to try and draw land. Ramp spell. Ignore it. Still have some interaction here in Counterflux, so kind of have that for protection. Totally fine to take one from this Secure Tribe Elder and then probably Electrolyze to find something else. Oh, that's right. So I decided to start playing these Quellers out so that I could pressure the life total. Because if I play the Queller, so basically this, I play the Queller, pressure the life total. I can sit on the Counterflux, but there's no point if I can play the Queller at the end of turn and continue to hold up Counterflux. So that's what I did. So we got a Queller on the table. Opponent has a Tribe Elder, 4 cards in hand. Attacks me with the Queller, don't care. And I opt to put the other Spell Queller. And one thing that I mentioned while I was playing this is that he must have reactive cards in hand because he wasn't doing anything. And he did let me attack once with a Spell Queller, but as it turns out, he had 2 bolts to kill both my Spell Quellers. So we've obviously managed to put some lands into play, so we have a chance here. Opponent fetches. Okay, so this is actually where a mistake was made. How can I pause this? Pause. So when I was at 9 life, I think it was actually dead, period, because my opponent plays a Valakut, and he had another fetch land here. I wish I could back up. I'm pretty sure that I was at 9, my opponent had 1. So that's 3, 2, that's 6, 9. I want to say he had 3 Woodish Foothills. So he was at 3, 6, 9 life. And then an additional 3 from the Secure Tribe Elder. So there was really no way that I could save myself with the Lightning Helix. Because even if I tried, like, the moment that my opponent cast I was at 9. So let's say my opponent had 3 Wooded Foothills and a Secure Tribe Elder. The moment that he casts sacks 1, if I helix him, then he sacks 1, 2, 3, which deals me 9. So the moment that he found that Valakut, I was dead. I cast the helix just because, but it's just futile. And at this point I concede, and the rest of the video continues. I don't remember what you guys last saw here, but when the first Valakut trigger hit the stack, I just realized I still had the game paused. So you may have... I'm going to have to go review the footage, and if we missed... Like, I paused to eat some rice pudding, and if we missed after that, then... Or if I didn't record after that, then I'll come back and fill this in with some voiceover coverage of the replay. But the mistake I just made was when he... not that I think it was going to live anyway, because I'm fairly sure in his hand are ramp spells. When he did the first sack and I was at 9 life. Actually, it may have just been dead, right? Because he had 3 lands, so I'm at 9. Yeah, I think actually it doesn't matter. The moment the Valakut hit the table, I was actually dead. He had 3 fetch lands, I think, and a Secure Tribe Elder, so he had 3, 6, 12 damage, instant speed, so even the Helix wasn't going to save me. It's disappointing. Alright, everybody. Well, I hope that you enjoyed that. Hopefully we can at least salvage a 3-2 on Friday. Check back tomorrow for that. I will go ahead and, like I said, get this fixed up and upload the video. It's almost 10 here, so I'm definitely a few hours behind, but it's because I was off doing photography stuff. Anyway, thank you very much. Bye for now.